Hey all, ready for the Player 4 podcast? Let's all sound off, shall we?
Don't everybody sound off at once.
I am Alex, aka Chaos Black 21 on the Rooster Teeth site.
Wait, did we just skip like 30 seconds?
No, that was actually, this is all real time. We are missing two people today.
Oh.
Which, it's very odd because I was like, oh my god, I have to actually say blah 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 on the Rooster Teeth site today.
Why is that weird?
I never have to do it because either Haley's here or Tristan is here, so it never got down to me where I was the first person to introduce myself.
For those who are confused, whenever we introduce ourselves, the first person to introduce themselves, which is usually Haley, sometimes Tristan because he's second, says their username on the Rooster Teeth site. And the rest of us don't have to say that, we just say AKA whatever our username is. So this is the first time Alex has ever had to say on the Rooster Teeth site, because there's never been an episode prior to this without Tristan and Haley at the same time.
Yeah, but who are you?
Who am I? I am Joseph Dunlap, aka J Dunlap, and I'm the executive producer of Player 4 Podcast.
And?
Draw 4 Podcast?
There you go.
Do I win a prize?
Ding 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 ding!
Ding ding ding.
You get internet points.
I'm actually kind of sad because we don't have Tristan to bring us into our first segment. I'll go ahead and do it then. And another thing.
And a fluffy thing.
So for those who are listening for the first time, what, Alex?
Oh, I was just going to say that you filled in very nicely for him.
Oh, well, thank you. For those who are listening for the first time to our little podcast, and another thing is our first segment, and that's where we, first off, make a reference to Hitchhiker's Guide, but second off, we bring up things from previous episodes and correct each other, or just make little footnotes. I actually have a few footnotes, notes on my foots.
Oh, why didn't you just write them on your hand?
I am flexible. Plus, if I write with my hands, and I write on my hands, you gotta understand, my pencils are really big, and I have to use both hands to write with, so my feet just seem natural.
Alright.
So, this is our Community Spotlight episode.
Yeah, our first one.
Our very first Community Spotlight episode, and if this is something people enjoy, we'll do more of them. And another thing, though, I listened to last episode. We didn't have an episode last week. We took a little break because everyone's tired and Tristan's out of town and Haley's sick. But I listened to our last one, which I believe was episode 37.
I believe so as well, yes.
So there's a few things I wanted to follow up on. First off, we said something about me making a clip show. Or at least that's what I'm calling it, the idea of making an episode out of clips from other episodes.
Yeah.
And I promised in the episode to have it done for fans by Christmas, and I realize now that's kind of a commitment, but...
Yeah, that's only a little less than, or a little more than 2 months.
Don't say it. You said it.
I said it.
You said the thing. Yes, I promised that I would do it. And apparently that means I'm going to do it. So I'm going to make an episode that's only a few minutes long. That's just going to be random clips from different episodes. And it's not going to be in place of any episodes. It'll just be bonus content. Speaking of bonus content, this is not really another thing, but I might as well say it now. We released our first bonus content this week.
Ooh, and you had to retweet it, I believe, to
Yes, it's a promotion where in order to get the link to the bonus content, you have to retweet a certain tweet. Now, at this point, I would actually be okay with you retweeting the tweet that we sent out for this episode. If you're listening to this, just go and find the tweet on our account, Player 4 Podcast, on Twitter, and retweet the tweet in which we link this episode 38. And then we will send you a direct message with the link to our first ever bonus content. And we intend to release a lot more of this. And this is fun little videos that are just for you guys, for our biggest fans. So the way we can find you is to find those that are active on our content. Among those who responded to the bonus content call, we got a retweet from Rick Guerrero. I sent him the link to the video, and a few minutes later he sent me LOL. So
it's laugh out loud content, guys. You really want this.
Yeah, that's all he said. It's literally the only thing he said was LOL. I thought he was saying he loved me, but that's not quite... No, I guess he could have been saying lots of love. So, Rick, I love you too. The next thing was, you were talking about videos with Barack Obama where it sounds like he's singing songs. I finally discovered what you were talking about. It's a channel called Barack's Dubs.
Yes, I think I remember that now. I remember that name.
I was actually watching a few, and it was entertaining. What was my favorite one? My favorite one was Uptown Funk. That was a really good one. But
I think the last one I watched was it's like a newer song, like the "I Can't Feel My Face When I'm With You" song. I don't know if you've heard that before. I can't feel my face when I'm with you, but I love it.
That's sweet
but
of you,
I love
Alex.
It. Yeah, it's apparently about drugs, but
you weren't singing about me?
No, it's apparently about two people taking drugs together. I guess is some kind of romantic thing. I don't know.
Moving on. The next thing was actually, I don't know whether we mentioned it in the episode, but the next thing I have on my agenda for and another thing is that Matt317, Matthew Anderson, one of our very loyal friends and listeners from Corpus Christi, Texas, sent us all presents. He sent me a birthday present. And that's why it's part of And Another Thing, because my birthday was recent and Haley's birthday was recent, but all of us got presents. Yes. He's basically Santa Claus, guys.
I mean, he does have a little bit of facial hair going, I think.
Yeah, so he could be Santa Claus in training, but he made Christmas come early, and I got a steampunk pocket watch.
Ooh.
There's a picture of it on Twitter, so we'll put that in the link dump, and I'll probably put the picture in the video right here. Isn't that nice? That's a nice watch.
Yeah. I also got a gift, of course, from Matt, and it was actually a signed print from the voice actor who does Handsome Jack, who is Damian Clark, and it's really awesome because it says, Alex, Butt Stallion says hello. And then it has a signature at the bottom, and I also put it on Twitter, but I will also have the picture for Joseph so he can put it up on the screen now.
Oh, that's a nice butt stallion. I actually already saw it, and I was trying to read it, and I didn't know the reference, and so I was looking at it with, actually, my wife, and she was looking at it, and I was looking at it, we were both looking at it, and she was like, does that say butt stallion? I was like, I'm pretty sure it does, and she's like, I really don't want to know.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts of the Borderlands 2 was him talking about Butt Stallion, and he'd bring it up every now and then.
Butt scratcher!
Butt scratcher!
I also know what Tristan got, because Matt was talking about it on Twitter, since Tristan won't be home for a while. And he said that it was an 11x17 print from RealmsCon of Vincent from Final Fantasy VII, signed by... Sorry, I had to mouse over the thing on the tweet.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were wanting a drum roll.
Steve Blum. He currently is called Zomblum because it's almost Halloween.
But it's so he's the voice actor, I'm guessing, of Vincent.
Very likely, but Tristan was very, very excited because he loves Vincent so much.
Oh my gosh, I wonder if he Haley squeed.
You know, I was thinking the same thing.
I mean, I know I squeed when my print came in.
And there was one other thing, since you just mentioned squeeing, and this is it for my And Another Thing. I had notes I was reading. I put a bunch of Spider-Man pictures on the screen as Haley's birthday present, and I don't think she noticed.
Aww.
It was, she was saying something about her birthday, and then I said something about Spider-Man, and then I put up a bunch of pictures of Spider-Man after that, to just random pictures of Spider-Man, mostly about him being poor. Like, there's the picture of Iron Man and Batman throwing money at each other, competing for who is richer, and then Spider-Man dives in the middle and starts grabbing the money.
That's awesome.
So Haley should go and see that, because that was her birthday present from me. But that's all I had, and we have a few minutes before we bring in our first guest if you wanted to talk about something.
It's kind of related to what we talked about the last episode. We discussed a little bit about Ruby Grim Eclipse. Stuart asked the question about us, what we thought of it. Ruby related, though, is the fact that Ruby Volume 3 started this past weekend. And I watched the first episode. It's 17 minutes long, so
wow.
that's pretty cool that it's that long. I mean, they do kind of extend the first episodes. I've seen that a lot, and then the later episodes are little less, like 10 to 12, but still 17 minutes. Awesome. Love the episode. Love how it's already started. They're jumping into the thick of things already, so I can't wait for season 2 this coming weekend. Or not season 2, episode 2.
He's looking forward to rewatching season 2.
I do need to rewatch the first 2 seasons.
Well, that's awesome. I look forward to what they have to come, and having a 17-minute first episode, Monty would be proud.
Yes, they do also do a little tribute to him in the episode as well.
All right, it's time for us to bring on our first guest. He actually just sent me a message on Skype, so I think he's ready. Our first guest is Retrograder. He's a writer for BIGBITE Magazine. Let's bring him in.
Woo!
Any moment now, he will pick up. Hello?
Hola?
Oh, hey, my mic was turned off.
Welcome to Player 4 Podcast.
Thank you.
Don't worry, I had mic problems as well.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
I would love to introduce myself. I am Retrograder. I am lead staff writer for BIGBITE Magazine, which is a Rooster Teeth Community-based magazine. And we have our next issue coming out in 3 days if you're in the States, and about 2 days if you are across the pond, as they say.
So where is BIGBITE Magazine located?
We don't technically have a location that's in one central area. I am in Oregon in the United States, but our editor-in-chief and the guy who started all of this is in Britain, good old England. So we have people all over the place. One of our other staff members is in Canada, and I don't know where the other 2 are.
Well, I like to blame Canada.
I will absolutely blame Canada every time.
But yeah, so BIGBITE Magazine.
Yep.
It's essentially all about Rooster Teeth and the community.
Yes, and both yes and no.
Okay.
We have featured some artists. Our first issue, which was before I joined up, featured someone who does screenshots from Grand Theft Auto, but does them in a way that like they look real. And it's like the first time I was flipping through it and scrolling through, I was like, oh, these are really good photographs. It's kind of odd that we're looking at photographs, though. I thought we were like Rooster Teeth and gaming stuff, and then I realized it was from Grand Theft Auto 5. I was like, what? So
I actually remember that because I went and looked through, because you guys have 3 issues out now. You're going to be releasing the 4th one here soon.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking, I was like, wow, this is a legitimate magazine, but it looks so awesome.
I was so excited when I found it. Like I've always wanted to be a writer, and I've been doing my own little projects for a while now. And then I was just trolling Twitter one day, and I saw it was shared by the Rooster Teeth Community page. They're like, hey, we're BIGBITE Magazine. We're looking for writers for our next issue. And I was like, oh, sweet, I can do this. I'm a writer. And so I got in touch with James, who's our editor-in-chief, and he looked at my blog, which I can talk about in a bit, and he's like, dude, I love your writing. If you have any ideas, just pitch them, and we'll see where we go. I'm like, awesome. So my first article came out in the 2nd issue, and it was all about Halo, because Halo is my favorite series. And last month, this month, I did a piece talking about Yoshi's Woolly World, because I'm 25 and ex-military and love everything that's cute and cuddly and fleshy. So I talked about that and Nintendo's direction kind of going forward. And now we've got a couple other projects I'm working on, and I want so much to talk about them, but I can't.
Of course, the sworn to secrecy.
I am, and sworn to secrecy by James, and I've made a blood pact with Joe.
So you're basically brothers now.
I suppose so. Somebody will have to die if somebody says something that we're not supposed to talk about yet.
When is the next issue coming out?
The next issue is out November 1st, so in 3 days, and I'm still putting final touches on my article for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of the way things go for writers or any kind of artistic stuff, is like you are like, oh yeah, I could do this, and then it finally gets closer to deadline. Oh crap, I actually have to do this.
See, and it's gotten worse for me too since I started at Big Bite. Because before Big Bite, like I've been trying to write a book for a long time, and I finally kind of put that aside. And then as soon as I put that aside, I was like, oh, I have another idea for a book, and I started working on that on top of the things I'm doing for Big Bite. And then in talking to James, when we started coming up with more things I can do for Big Bite, and so in light of those ideas for Big Bite stuff, I had other ideas of like, oh, I can do something that's kind of like this, but put it out on my personal things. So then I added 2 more projects that I just, and I do it to myself, and I'm a glutton for torture, I guess. And I don't know why I do this, but why do the important things like sleep when you can be playing video games and writing about things like that and doing all things Rooster Teeth?
Yeah, I mean, my motto is you can sleep when you're dead.
Exactly.
We seem to be going full circle all the way to episode 1 of Player 4 Podcast.
Wait, did I say that in episode 1?
We said something along those lines, that sleep is a distraction. So we've got a few more minutes to keep you on, then we're going to be bringing in, actually, your boss.
You will be bringing in... I think there might have been some miscommunication. You'll be bringing in Joe, who is our editor. Not our editor, sorry, our social media guy. He is, I suppose, probably our second in command. And then there's James, who is our editor-in-chief. I do most of my planning and whatnot goes through James, and he is, of course, the other one who has made me swear so much secrecy of all the different plans that we have. And I came on here thinking, I'm like, oh, I can talk about this project and this one. And then I got the email from him. He's like, okay, you can't talk about any of these things. Why?
Well, I mean, you said you have a blog. You could talk about that if you want. Yeah.
I do have a blog. It is retrogradereviews.wordpress.com. I review old video games. I've taken kind of a hiatus from it, but I'm going to be working all through November to build a backlog so I can start doing weekly releases starting in December. So I've done games like Donkey Kong on the Super Nintendo was the first one I did. Then Star Fox, like Banjo-Kazooie, Crash Bandicoot. I'm working on one right now for Jetpack, because I started playing that again in the Rare Replay, and I looked up some info on it, and I didn't even know it was as old as it was. I was playing it on super old computer models that I'd never heard of, and being named Game of the Year back in the 80s. I'm like, what?
So I didn't even know that they had that award back then.
Yeah, it was I think it was by a company that no longer exists now that did the awards for that, but it's like, to think that people were comparing it and they're like, yeah, it's near flawless gameplay, and I'm playing through it and I'm like, I'm dying.
This is
so
your flawless.
This is your flawless. I don't know if I'm shooting things or what's happening right now as the enemy killers are glitching in and out, and it's a lot of fun. But you just have to have some questions on it. Like, there's a story, they tell you a story that it had back in whenever it was released. Like, you're testing out spaceships, or you're trying to rebuild your spaceship that has crashed and leave the planet. And then the Rare Replay is like, you're testing ships, and why not get rich? So they're trying to sort of like retcon so it makes sense of the other collectibles that you're picking up.
I remember playing that, yeah, because I have the Rare Replay, and I remember playing that, and like the stuff that drops that you have to pick up, you're like, why do I have to pick this up exactly? This doesn't make much sense.
It's like you've got a gold bar and a green blob kind of looking thing.
Yeah.
And like a retroactive symbol. Like, why am I picking up the thing that's retroactive? I feel like this is kind of counterproductive to everything that I'm doing right now.
So what is the format of your reviews? Is it purely text-based?
Yes, purely text-based so far. I did just pick up a better microphone that I can use to record some audio, so in the future I'm looking to start doing some video-based stuff, but right now it's just text. There's one more thing I can talk about, because I'm not going to put this in Big Bite. It was one of the projects that I added onto myself after adding other Big Bite things, but also on my blog I'm going to start writing a Splatoon fanfic. Don't knock it. It's going to be really cool.
Hey, I'm not going to knock it. I actually have not looked at Splatoon, but I've heard so much about it, and people are just going crazy over it.
It is so much fun, And I tried to start explaining the fanfic to my friend at one of my other jobs, and she instantly thought I was going to be doing something like the Japanese tentacle porn that we all see every I'm like, no, that's not it. And because as soon as I tried to tell her, I was like, okay, it's going to be Splatoon, but it's not going to be like super cartoony. It's going to deal with more mature themes. And then as soon as I said mature, she's like, ooh. Like, no, it's not that. And so she's like, so there's not going to be sex in it? And I was like, well... And as soon as I just said, well...
No, that's where you say, no, of course not.
No. I tried to say no, of course not. And I tried to kind of explain it away, but I didn't start explaining it away the way I should have. And she ran off to tell everyone else that I was going to start writing tentacle porn on the internet. I'm like, no, that's not what I'm doing, I promise you.
So your WordPress is Retrograde Reviews?
Retrograde Reviews, yep.
Okay, and where else can we find you on social media?
I am on Twitter at Retrograder GX. Sorry, I think I believe there's an underscore in there. That's right. There is an underscore in there. I can never remember if Twitter lets you use spaces in handles, but it does not. So, at Retrograder underscore GX. And I am also on Rooster Teeth at roosterteeth.com/retrograder. And that is it for my social media footprint.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. This was Retrograder, a writer for BIGBITE Magazine. Go check out BIGBITE Magazine as well.
Thanks for coming on.
Yep. Thank you. It was a lot of fun.
Now let's bring in Joseph Dalton.
Oh my God, there's two Josephs, and they both have a last name starting with D.
Yes. I'm attempting to add him into the call. Hello?
Hello?
It's
Hola.
Joseph Dalton.
Yes, it is.
Welcome to Player for
Yay.
Podcast.
Hey, what's up?
Why don't you
I like your image first, by the way, on Skype.
Oh,
Yes, we'll include a picture of that.
Business Orf. Yeah, pretty much. I feel like Business Orf most of the time with this magazine.
Go ahead and introduce yourself to those who don't know who you are.
Okay, my name's Joe Dalton. I am the editor and social media director for BIGBITE Magazine, and that's the magazine made for the Rooster Teeth community by the Rooster Teeth community.
We just had Retrograder on, and he was telling us that he can't tell us very much about the issue that's coming out for November, but he did tell us quite a bit about BIGBITE Magazine in general. We were complimenting the professional look of the magazine. Very cool website you hosted on. What's the website called?
It's called Issue. That's they spell it kind of weird. It's ISSUU.com. They're great for working with just small independent magazines. Really easy to use. Love it, honestly. It's a lot of great tools for us. Helps us do a lot more, a lot easier for people.
It looks super professional. I mean,
Thanks.
the website does add a lot to it, but the graphic design itself is pretty awesome, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. James, who's our editor-in-chief, he also does a lot of the graphic design. It's just top shelf. I can't take any credit for that. He is just awesome.
Yeah, it really looks like an actual magazine, and I love how it's easy. Like, all I did was type in BIGBITE on Google, and all of the first 3 issues that you guys had automatically popped up. It's easy to use. Just click to get to the next page of the magazine. Awesome.
Yeah, there's a really good app as well. It's actually, honestly, what I use to read the magazines once they come out. Not that I don't read them before, but I like to read the final version, you know?
Mm-hmm. And you guys, I guess, are able to get statistics from this site about who accesses, and from where they access it from?
Right. It's actually really cool. We include this now in the last page of all of our issues, one of the last pages. And we get a bunch of great stats. One of my favorite stats is just our impressions. Number of people that opened up the magazine, took a look at it. So far, and actually this is only over 3 issues, we've been viewed over 15,000 times. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's getting to a lot of people then. And then you guys, every time you release an episode, you post it on Twitter. Do you guys have like a Rooster Teeth group at all that you guys post stuff to?
Oh, we do. We're not using it as much right now just because the new site's kind of in an awkward phase. The easiest way to find information at the moment is to catch us on Twitter we're at BIGBITE Magazine. or Facebook, facebook.com/BigBite Magazine. Hopefully we're going to get that roosterteeth.com group up in full swing, but we are on there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a little difficult for everybody that has groups on there, but hopefully they're working towards it. I think they have fixed it a little bit so people can actually follow groups again, but
yeah,
still work in progress.
Yeah, they're currently hiring some contractors to do some of the ticket support, so things are moving forward.
Okay.
So tell us about yourself, Joseph. What else do you do?
Well, with the magazine, I handle all the social media. I handle all the PR. I work directly with Rooster Teeth's PR department as well with that. I also do a lot of recruiting for the magazine. I search Reddit and other social media to recruit content creators. For example, in issue 3, the Rage Quit article, I don't know if you had the chance to read that, but I actually was just browsing the Rooster Teeth subreddit one night, and I saw that. I'm like, oh my god, this needs to be in our magazine. So I reached out to the content creator and got him on board, edited it down to something that would fit in the magazine, and we went with it. It was pretty cool. Let's see, I run, the polls that we do for the magazine. We do monthly polls on Reddit to allow everyone a chance to contribute. This is a community magazine, so all you have to do is vote in that, and there's a chance that your comment might end up in the magazine. I also do some editing. I do some writing and interviewing for the magazine. Let's see, I also maintain our new breaking news blog. Outside of this, I'm a normal guy. I have a day job. I work at Macy's. Woo.
Hey, I work at Target. It's okay.
Hey, there you go.
I used to work at Macy's.
Yeah, cool.
You're Macy's brothers.
Bros for life.
You can have a parade.
No, not until Thanksgiving.
We're not that far away from that.
Yeah, that's close enough. I don't know. I won't have time on Thanksgiving, though. I'll be back in the store.
Yeah, no breaks for us retail folk. So you mentioned a breaking news blog. Is that part of the magazine, or is that something separate?
It's something that's related to Big Bite Magazine. One of the things that we want to do is we want to keep everyone updated on what's going on with Rooster Teeth. Unfortunately, we're a monthly magazine, so that's kind of hard to do and bring out relevant information in a timely manner. We've got it set up so anytime we post to it, it goes to our Twitter, it goes to our Facebook automatically, so it's kind of convenient that way. So that's how to keep up with it. Yeah, we just wanted to be able to allow our users to find out about the cool stuff that's going on. We post official press releases. We post a lot of the stuff that we find on Twitter, that we find on the Rooster Teeth staff blogs, find it on Reddit. If it's relevant, if it's something cool, new, breaking, it's going to be on there.
I actually saw something today because I started following you guys. I thought I'd been following you already, but I wasn't, but I corrected it, so I'm following you now. And I saw something, what was it, today or yesterday, and it was breaking news, and I didn't even know you had a blog, but there it was, so it's great PR.
I usually handle the press releases because they happen to go to my email because I'm the one that works with the PR department. But we also have a great staff writer. His name's John Byrne. He combs the Twitterverse. He combs Rooster Teeth blogs, and he posts stuff like that.
On the subject of that kind of thing, and this is for the sake of those wanting to get into media and journalism and that kind of thing, because I was in journalism in college. What kind of background do you have for journalism?
You really want to ask that question? All right, I have a degree in music.
Oh my gosh. Two Josephs with degrees in music?
See, there we go. When I got on board with this magazine, at the time, my day job, I was handling social media for a small business. I actually offered my services as a social media director. But I started doing a little bit of writing and discovered, oh my God, I'm actually having a lot of fun with this. So it just kind of snowballed from there.
My reason for asking is people tend to assume that those that have gigs in journalism. I won't call it a job, but a gig in journalism. People who are writing, whether paid or volunteered or whatever, or podcasting even for that matter. People seem to think that the only way to get in there's some sort of gatekeeper and you have to have all this experience. Well, I've got breaking news for all of you. Just do it, because Joseph has a degree in music. I have a degree in music. We just decided to do this stuff. Alex, what's your degree in?
I have a Master's of Architecture, and I am now getting a Associate's in Computer Programming.
Does podcasting or Minecraft videos fall under either of those?
No, other than I'm taking like some multimedia classes for programming, but they don't really delve into podcasting.
So essentially, for those of you wanting to get into media, journalism, podcasting, gaming videos, the only way to get experience is to do it. Don't sit around thinking that you're not good enough, because you are.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the important thing, if you want to create content, create content. You know, if people, are going to like it, they'll discover it.
Exactly. I think you guys had an article interviewing Ray in the last episode, didn't you? Or the last magazine, and he even said that when he started out making the videos for YouTube for the achievements, he didn't have any prior experience. He just basically went and did it and started learning on the fly.
Exactly. He told me he had no idea what he was doing. He just did it. He figured it out. He winged it. And honestly, that's part of the spirit of doing this. It's we have fun. We do it. None of us involved in the magazine, to my knowledge, have any professional background with this. We just do it because we love it. And if you create something you love, people will love it.
Very, very wise words. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for being on with us, Joe.
Oh, my pleasure.
We look forward to seeing what happens in the future for Big Bite Magazine.
Yep,
I'm looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, issue number 4 comes out November 1st.
You said something about you were allowed to talk about something that was going to be in the issue, and since this comes out probably the day before the issue comes out, maybe even the day the issue comes out, maybe you could?
Sure.
We could pull your leg?
Well, okay. Well, what I will say, I don't like to leak spoilers here. I will say we do have another RT staff interview that we're excited about. We're hoping to do one of those every issue now. So we know that the Rooster Teeth staff, I've talked to some of them, they're reading our magazine and they're actually starting to want to get involved. So again, we have another... maybe not the biggest name. It's not Bernie. There's your spoiler. But it's we do have somebody exciting already interviewed and ready to go.
Oh, that's exciting!
All right, I'm going to go to my wall. I'm going to scratch out Bernie's picture because I know it's not him.
He's going to tear it off his wall.
The mystery's
you betrayed me, Bernie.
I know. The guy's busy. All right, we'll get to him eventually.
Oh yeah, I can't wait now. I mean, I couldn't wait before, but. I mean, that's an exciting tidbit.
If anyone wants to find you on social media, where would they find you?
Again, the easiest way to find us, we use Twitter, we use Facebook. Those are the best places to find us. It's Twitter. We're at Big Bite Magazine. Facebook, we are facebook.com/BigBite Magazine. If you want to find our magazine directly, you can find us at issue.com. Remember, that's issuu.com/BigBite. And our direct link to our news blog, it's bigbitemagazine.wordpress.com. If you're a WordPress member, or I think you can even do it just by using your email, you can sign up to get updates for that.
Yes, I believe you can just use email. So that's exciting. Everyone go and check them out. They're up and coming. I think they're going to make it.
Thanks.
They're going to go big places.
They're going to go the distance. Thank you again for joining us. We look forward to hearing from you again.
Adios.
Next week, come back and hear us talk about another community project, a graphic novel.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Yes. All right, I guess we should just go ahead and say goodnight to a great episode and a great audience.
Yes. See you later, audience. Until next time, keep it real.
What? DJ Black Alex.
What?
Good night, audience. So if we sing So Long Farewell, Will it be full circle?
Let's just do it for the hell of it.
So long, farewell.
House beaters say goodbye.
Bye.
Something, and then I go.
That was a priceless little moment last time when I was saying I'd like to stay and taste my first champagne. Yes?
Yeah.
And Tristan just goes, no.
No.
Like he's Grumpy Cat or something.